cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What's cracking? What's cracking? What's cracking? Back with some more Larry Legend, Larry Bird content. Hope everybody's doing well. So this is a collection of recommendations, none other by Dutch T. Shout out to Dutch T. You've been sending out the Larry Bird recommendations like crazy, keeping the content coming. I appreciate it, and I'm sure that Larry Legend fans do too. So like I said, this is a collection of videos, and Dutch T was like, would it be possible to combine all of these shorts into one funny shorts compilation? So yeah, no problem. I'll watch them all, do some editing, lace them all together to make it flow easy and transition so it's easy to watch and enjoyable for anybody that wants to indulge in this content. So we got one that says Larry Bird shows Devin Booker how to shoot free throws, Larry Bird and Magic trophies, Larry Bird ribbing Magic, crazy NBA facts, Mikhail on Larry Bird playing today, Manute Bowl bounty, Boston Garden closing, are you smarter than Larry Bird, Bird and Mikhail prank Barkley, welcome rookie Dennis Scott, tweet, LB still trashing Dominique. All right, can't wait to get into this. Yeah, shout out to the Bird gang. All right, see, that was funny. That Devin Booker situation, obviously y'all saw it just happen, but if you haven't seen it before, he got that mascot ejected from the game, said it was bothering him, or what, I don't know what he said, but essentially it was bothering him and distracting him. I was like, wow, what are these players made of today? Meanwhile, Larry Bird got all the Baywatch out there shooting free throws, got big ass dangalangs, big booties, thin waist, pretty face, long hair all on his face. Bird just like, ice, water in his veins. Players are cut from a different cloth today. And I'm not saying everybody like Devin Booker is like Devin Booker, but this is just this type of stuff. You wouldn't have seen stuff like this back in the day, man. Crazy.
This day forward, the trophies that are going to be awarded to the MVPs of the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, in the East, it'll be called the Larry Bird Trophy, and in the West, that will get the Magic Johnson Trophy. Wow. So we wanted to let you all know that, and it's something that I hope you'll find special, but from this day forward, those conference finals MVPs will be known as the Larry Bird Trophy and the Magic Johnson Trophy.
Well, thanks, Mark. I just wish I could win one of them Magic Johnson trophies. That'd be a highlight of my career. One game we played the Lakers in the Forum, and we was fortunate enough to win at the end. And it's coming out the tunnel. They had a tunnel where you go down underneath. It was coming out the bus. There's a lot of fans around, and when we won games on the road, we tend to stay a little bit longer and celebrate, especially in the Forum. We got to the top of the tunnel. We had to wait because the traffic was out there and the fans were throwing stuff at us. And I was very quiet and very humble that day, and I was looking out the window, and I happened to see Irvin walking across the parking lot to his car. Of course, he had a number of people around him, and I just watched him. I could see the pain on his face, the look in his eyes that he was a beaten man that day. So if my thoughts in my head, my other teammates were talking, doing their own thing, I was just watching him. I said, suffer, baby, suffer.
Yeah, I've heard that one before. It's actually, it's been a while since I heard it, because I think I only heard it once on one of my other reaction videos, and I loved it. You want to talk about a rivalry? that goes back predating their NBA careers. That's how intertwined Larry Bird and Magic Johnson are. So for Bird, even after having to deal with the defeat by the hands of Magic Johnson, to get some sweet victory, and honestly, just anytime, just taking it to him, it's just, there's no sweeter victory than getting one over your rival, man. It's savory. Mwah.
Welcome back to another episode of NBA 360 Live. I am your host, Jimmy Skirts, and we're back to more NBA facts that you just didn't know about. And today's topic is the legend Larry Bird. Here goes something. A convicted felon requested that his prison sentence is increased from 30 years to 33 years so that it would match the jersey number of basketball star Larry Bird. Dumbass. Here goes something else you probably didn't know. The Twitter logo is named after the Boston Celtic Larry Bird. I don't know how. See you the next time.
So yes, I actually knew both of those. I actually recently found out about the guy that asked for his prison sentence to be extended to 33 years. And then I also heard that, and actually to this day, I think he is still in prison and maybe getting out in a few years. But I heard that he was asked about it again recently, and he regrets adding for the extra 3 years. But hey, and maybe that's just hindsight.
One of the persisting questions is how retired legends would fare in today's NBA. According to Kevin McHale, Larry Bird would dominate the opponents if he were playing today. Oh, good lord, Larry would terrorize this league in today's game. McHale told Heavy Sports, "It's hard not to agree with his statement, especially when he explains why he holds on to that belief. First of all, Bird had insane court vision, and with all the spacing today, his passing would stand out even more. In addition, the Hick from French Lick had weapons in his arsenal that would have allowed him to get in the paint whenever he wanted to. Bird would have killed it from beyond the arc if he were playing today. For his career, he shot 37.6% from the three-point line. But because not much emphasis was given to the outside shot then, he only attempted 1.9 shots from deep. Finally, Larry Legend had so much natural toughness and competitiveness with which he would have thrived in modern basketball."
That is very true. I agree with Mikhail 100%. And recently, after we've seen Nikola Jokic and what Luka Doncic has done, and these are people that people generally call them, unathletic compared to a lot of the other athletes, a lot of other players. And they look slow, they look sluggish, and you're seeing these two guys dominate every player, every team, game after game after game, doing whatever the hell they want to do on the court. And then all of a sudden, you're hearing people say, "Oh, well, that validates the idea that Larry Bird could play in today's NBA." I'm like, no. I didn't need to see what Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic could do in today's game for me to understand why Larry Bird would dominate in today's game. Like, people act like there wasn't athletic players and hyper athletes back then in Larry Bird's era, and he was giving people the business. What makes you think he wouldn't? And I'm talking about players that were generally better defenders back then. And Larry Bird was cooking them. And he wasn't a liability on defense either. He was a good team defender, not the best individual isolation defender. But he was not a liability on defense by no stretch of the imagination. So both sides of the court, Larry was handling business back then. What makes you think he wouldn't handle it now? Like you said, in this NBA, where stats are inflated, spacing, it's a lot easier to score. Like, what makes you think Larry wouldn't dominate? I didn't need to see Luka and Joker to validate or be like, "Oh, I guess Larry could have played in today's NBA." What? And he's a better three-point shooter. But way better three-point shooter than both of them. And he was shooting damn near 38% back then on not many attempts and not practicing it as much as people practice it today. Man, get out of my face with that. Respect the man. Y'all kids, and probably ain't many kids watching this because y'all wouldn't watch a Larry Bird video, most of y'all. But if you ever come across this video, pay homage. and take a look at more players from the past, because I assure you, you will be surprised at how talented these players are in the past, despite what mainstream media and people tell you otherwise or try not to enlighten you on about these other players in the past. Were beasts, man. Don't forget about them.
Bill Walton shared a story about how Larry Bird put a bounty on Manute Bol, challenging every Celtic to try to dunk on him. Larry called us all together and said that we all had to put this $100 into a pool, and that the first one to dunk on Manute would get all the cash, $1,200. After 2 games, where none of the Celtics were able to put him on a poster, Bird decided to put up the stakes. Larry announced that we're going to roll it over and keep rolling it until somebody did successfully throw one down on the big guy. According to Bill, Kevin McHale was the guy most eager to throw one down in Manute's face. Hunting for Bol didn't end much better for Bird, who went out of his way to be the one to take home the money. On one occasion, he even stopped a fast break, cradled the ball, and pointed at Manute, who was still down at his own basket and completely out of the play. Manute was clueless to our little game within the game, but he dutifully hustled back, and when Larry came flying in, Manute sent him and the ball back one more time. Robert Parrish eventually got the throwdown over the 7'7" giant, winning a very large sum of cash, undoubtedly in the thousands.
I've actually heard that recently in one of the Larry Bird videos within the last 2 weeks. It's the first time I had heard that, but I love that story. It's nice to see the type of fun players can have within the team doing things like that, catching bounties. But that's hilarious. Bird pointed him out. Shout out to McHale for getting a poster on Manute, and rest in peace to Manute Bol. Manute Bol Day, July 9th. Make sure we pay homage to Manute Bol. I will be. It's my birthday too. Manute Bol Day is my birthday, so I will definitely be doing another Manute Bol video. I think I have one, if I'm not mistaken.
Ready over to Tiny. Tiny. Into Gene Conley. Over to Lowski. Don't take a charge, Lowski. Over to Easy Ed. Easy Ed to Walton. Walton to Bailey Howe. Bailey Howe to Frank. Charlie Scott. DJ in the middle. ML. Don Nelson. JoJo, over to Matt, down to Sam, Tommy Heinsohn, no Tommy, Bill Sharman, he passes it up into Satch, Satch to Kuz, Kuz goes behind his back,
okay.
to Russell to Havlicek, he stole the ball, no he can't steal the ball, get back there. Into Larry, there you have it. I dedicated my life.
That was actually pretty cool, man. I swear that Celtics organization be thinking of all kinds of cool things, to commemorate, pay homage, and remember, and hear the Boston Gardens close. And that's really kind of neat what they did there. I wasn't sure what was. I know Bird was going to be the last one, but I thought Bird was going to be posted up in 3-point land. Now, that would have been a lot tougher, but I'm sure Bird would have preferred it that way. They probably got in a fight. They're like, Bird, on the last one, we're just going to have you right here next to the basket. Just go ahead and put it off the glass and make a layup and take us on home. They're probably in a fight. Bird's like, let me shoot the 3. Let me shoot the 3 and put a shot clock up there.
So you really think you're smarter than the greatest Celtic of all time? Take the test and prove it then. Celtics versus Knicks, Bird with the ball. He's tripled, including top defender Patrick Ewing on him. Now pause. What's Bird gonna do next? A one-legged fadeaway shot. B, an assist to Danny Ainge for a three-pointer. C, a no-look down to Robert Parrish. Or D, skyhook shot. I'll give you a few seconds to guess.
I gotta see the placement
Let's
again.
roll the play then. If you went with C, then you're right. One of the most underrated aspects of Larry Bird's game was his court awareness and passing. When Ewing rotated to help on Bird, it left Parrish way open. All that was left was for Larry to make a legendary pass. So did you get the right answer? I wouldn't blame you if you're wrong, but let us know down in the comments below.
It happened too fast. I wanted to see where the other players were before I made my choice. But had I seen the player placement, I would have said. But I've seen that play before too, so probably I would have been cheating.
We're at my first All-Star game, and Kareem's sitting at the back. And Bird and McHale, I said, man, I want to go meet Kareem. I never met him. They said, go back there and say hello to him.
I walk back, and he's back there reading, and I say, hey, Mr. Jabbar. He looks up. I'm reading. I said, okay. I turn around. Mikhail and Bird are laughing their ass off.
They knew it was the setup.
Okay. Y'all got me good.
Did you ever get yelled at by Jordan or Bird?
Bird was the only one that really kind of, in his soft-spoken way, when we talk about guys talking trash.
Yeah.
Hey, Rook, good to see you. Hey, great college career. I'm going to catch the ball. I'm going to pump fake. You're going to reach for it. You're going to get fouled. 2 tweets, you're going to have a seat. Lo and behold, Dan, he catches the ball. He pump fakes. I go for it. I reach. First foul. I come down court. Scott Skiles kicks me the ball. I shoot a 3. In your face, Larry Legend. Yes, I'm feeling good, Dan. He catches the ball again. Catches it. My dumb self reaches for it again. Tweet. Go have a seat. I see second quarter, Rook. So that's how Larry Bird christened me into the NBA.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience.
No, nobody welcomes a player into the NBA like Larry Bird. Nobody. I haven't heard everybody's stories regarding that, but apparently Larry has a lot of them, and his are quite humorous.
From afar, it's tempting to think that NBA players mellow with age. It makes sense to be fully engaged with rivalries during your career. At that point, there's something to fight for. In retirement, though, that competition fades, and everyone can theoretically be friends. Larry Bird, however, plays by his own rules. If you played professional basketball between 1979 and 1992, being asked to defend Larry Bird was the sporting equivalent of drawing the short straw. Even if you knew what the Boston Celtics star was going to do, stopping him was another story. Dominique Wilkins experienced that reality firsthand. Not only did he have to try and slow down the prolific scorer, but he was on the receiving end of some trash talk along the way. And while both men have long since retired, that verbal warfare is still going on. On January 26, 2023, Pacers president of basketball operations Kevin Pritchard took to Twitter to share some texts that he had received from Bird. The former forward, who spent time in Indianapolis as both a coach and an executive, had snapped a picture of a photo of him shooting a jumper over Wilkins. It wasn't enough to just send a picture, though. Larry Legend had to talk a bit of trash, writing, "Can you please tell your boy to put a hand up? I think that is the pose for the statue." Once that screenshot hit social media, it made its way to Wilkins. The former Atlanta Hawk simply responded, "Man, the disrespect," with 4 crying, laughing emojis. Based on his reaction, it's fair to say that Dominique Wilkins hasn't taken Bird's jab personally. At this point, he probably knows what it's like dealing with Larry Legend. During Wilkins' rookie year, for example, the pair crossed paths in memorable fashion. Ahead of the opening tip, the Hawk attempted to shake Bird's hand. Not only did he refuse, but he told the rookie that he didn't belong in the association.
He was at the jump circle, and I go shake Larry Bird's hand. He put both hands behind his back. You know? I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's just getting into the game. You know, I'm trying to give him the benefit down. The first play of the game, I'm guarding. He said, "I don't know where they got you guarding me, Holmes." And he shoots a 3, and I wasn't mad. He made the 3. I thought, this some bitch just called me Holmes. Oh man, I was so mad. So I'm coming down the left side, and I go up in a fast break, and he comes out, and I'm pumping it behind my head, and he jumped. I said, boom. He's sitting down on the ground. I'm pointing like this. He said, "Hey, Rook." I'm like, "What?" He said, "I like you. You got balls, but I'm still getting 40 on your ass."
After that encounter, the two stars kept battling for Eastern Conference supremacy. And Wilkins shared another Larry Legend story, this time from their legendary Game 7 shootout that took place in the 1988 Eastern Conference semifinals.
He only had 12 points going to the fourth quarter. And Kevin, it was Kevin Willis, it was me and Larry. We run down the court, and Kevin reached across me, put his hands, and Bird said, "Don't let this so-and-so score any more than that." I'm like, "What you doing?"
Woke that monster.
You don't wake up a sleeping giant. And his eyes got that big, man. I remember they took me out for a blow, and Kevin.
I was going to mention this if this wasn't in the video. I wasn't sure because I was going to be like, "Yep, nope." Dominique learned, because next time when he would meet Larry in the future and players would talk smack to Larry, and Dominique look at him like, "What is you? You do not talk to that man like that. You do not talk to that man like that." Larry's eyes were like,
Cliff Livingston came in the game, and he got hot. And coach said, Nick, go out there, stop him. I'm like, stop him? He hot now. Forget that. That's the only thing I can do is try to match him bucket for bucket. And it was a shootout in the fourth quarter. It came down to the last shot. He was a phenomenon. I ain't never seen anybody like him that not super athletic, but he beat you in so many ways. Yeah, the heart of the lion, man.
During his time on the NBA hardwood, Larry Bird was incredibly confident in his own abilities. While age may have diminished some of his physical skills, the trash talk is apparently still flowing behind the scenes.
Good collection of videos there. Good compilation. I like that. Some new stuff, some I've seen before, but it's always good to revisit that stuff. And you know, it's gold. It's gold. You know, I've seen it before, but it still puts a smile on my face and still gets me laughing. It's golden. Never gets old. And you know it's good. You know it's good when it gives you that kind of effect. But I will never forget that story by Dominique. In fact, it was weird. I was taking a shower last week, and I don't know why it popped in my head. I just started laughing because I just thought about, Wilkins and the player walking on a court, and he talks Bird's passing by. He talks smack to Bird, and Bird, like you say, he just woke the bear up. And just Bird's eyes just going. It's like, oh God! And then Dominique like, you hitting him in the back of his head. You stupid idiot! Why would you do that? So the last thing you need to do is ruffle the bird's feathers. Pun intended. Pun intended. Appreciate you, Dutch T. Thanks for sending these recommendations out. I have a lot of videos to catch up with. I haven't been posting much lately. The last couple of days, I've been really, really, really busy with work, man. My boss is leaving the program. He's taking a position on different programs, so I've been having to fill in for the manager duties, and it's been very long days. And then I was sick too, so I got a lot of catching up to do on the recommendations, and I got some ideas that I wanted to do outside the recommendation channel as well. But appreciate you guys. Thanks for stopping in. Again, shout out to Dutch T and everybody else. Bird Gang, what up? And I catch you on the next one. We out, baby.